What's up, marketers and entrepreneurs? This is a highly requested video about when to scale your Facebook ad campaigns. My name is Dara Denney, and I'm the director of paid social at a leading advertising agency where I manage ad accounts that spend anywhere from $50K to $1 million per month in ad spend. So I know a thing or two about scaling Facebook ad campaigns. Now, I want to call out directly that the how and when of scaling Facebook ads is different for every single business, and there's no definitive cookie cutter approach to doing this. The information I'm going to share with you today is going to give you the numbers that you need to figure out so you can know exactly when to scale, but also the actual metrics I'm tracking inside of Ads Manager so I can know when to make those decisions. And I fully believe that the question of when to scale your Facebook ad campaigns is actually a lot easier than most people make it. In fact, I feel like I could just end this video in 20 seconds after telling you you should just scale your Facebook ad campaigns when they're profitable. Seriously, when you start to see an ad set or a campaign that is showing profitability over multiple days, maybe 3 days, maybe a week, then increase the budget. Now, I know that it kind of opens up another can of worms because, how much should I increase it by? Blah, blah, blah. I actually have an entire video that's all about the 4 different ways to scale your Facebook ad campaigns, so you definitely want to take a look at that. But this video is about when to scale your Facebook ad campaigns. And I actually think that what comes down to making this decision is about knowing 3 important things about you and your business. And the first of those 3 things is, what are your goals? And this is actually going to include 2 different goals. One's going to be a number goal. So what is your baseline ROAS or your baseline cost per purchase that you want to aim for? Now, I know this can be kind of hard to figure out, especially if you're just starting off, but I actually found a calculator online to help you out with this. And they suggest to have your ROAS goal to be the number you need to break even on your ad dollars. And I do think this is a good place to start off. Just be sure to factor in agency or freelancer costs if you're using one of those. Additionally, another part of your goal is really the reasons why you're advertising. Do you want to scale? Do you want to improve results where they are? Are you just trying to prove out product market fit? Are you trying to do all 3 at the same time? Which you really have to manage your own expectations and the expectations of your client. But knowing this kind of information is also going to be able to affect your baseline goal. So like, say for instance that you have a baseline goal of a 2 ROAS, but you want to scale really rapidly. Perhaps you could actually reduce that goal to a 1.7 so that you can continue to hold ad campaigns and ad sets that are at a 1.7 and scale a little bit quicker. But again, that kind of stuff is up to the business owner. Now, the second number that you need to know is the number that makes you want to scale. So sure, we have a baseline number, and essentially this is going to help us know, like, okay, anything below this number, then we need to optimize or turn off. But you should have another number too that's, wow, this ad set or this campaign or this ad is doing really well and I want to scale it up. You need to know what that number is because it's going to help you take the emotion out of scaling your Facebook ad campaigns. So if you have a break-even ROAS goal of 2, maybe your scaling number is going to be a 2.5 or maybe even a 3. And number 3 is a little bit nuanced, but I think it's just as important to this whole scaling formula, and it's you need to determine the level of risk of your client or of yourself in the business. And I think that this is going to be compounded a lot with the overall goals that you have of your campaign. But I think it's a really good idea to call that kind of stuff out directly in the early days, because once you figure it out and you're honest with yourself about it, then you won't be scaling those campaigns based on emotion. When you see, oh wow, yeah, they actually are hitting that scale ROAS goal that I have, then it's time to increase your budgets on those. And I know the question that I'm getting a bunch of you is, how many days should I wait until I'm seeing a good ROAS score to increase? To be honest, it's going to be different because Facebook ads are never just going to be an even consistent line. You're going to see ebb and flows. So what I would recommend in the early days is, if you see good results for at least 3 days, go ahead and increase that budget a little bit and see how the results hold. I think one of the biggest mistakes I see a lot of young media buyers and young entrepreneurs when they're running their own Facebook ads is they have ad sets or campaigns that are at that are above their scale goal, and they still won't do it because they're too risk averse. So I think that, number one, just knowing your risk aversion is going to be really helpful for you, but also just knowing that you have to take emotion out of scaling. And once you see, oh, you're hitting that goal after, a few days, try scaling. Don't worry about breaking the Facebook machine. Everything is fixable. The main metrics I'm tracking are ROAS, CPA, and number of purchasers, especially in those early days, and cross-analyzing that with amount spent. Of course, we want to give greater importance to ad sets or campaigns that are spending a little bit more. So if those results are also strong where there is more spend, that's another indication that we really want to scale those up. And the reason why I track these main metrics, I think, are fairly obvious. These are the ones that mean the most to the campaigns, especially if you're going after those purchases. Ultimately, these are the metrics that we need to optimize for. I think one of the biggest mistakes I see young media buyers making is that they're optimizing for CPC or CPM because they see, oh, my CPAs are too high or my CPMs are too high. And frankly, that's definitely not something that you should be doing, because sometimes you are going to have a higher CPM or a higher CPC, but that audience is going to be so valuable that you're going to get more purchases. And ultimately, that is what you should be going after. With that said, though, there are a few secondary metrics that I also like to follow and track daily, and they don't necessarily help me know when to optimize for scale or when to pull back, but what I find that they help me do is they help me tell a story behind what's going on in the ad account. Those metrics are, number one, click-through rate, which is going to show me how engaging my ads are with the target audience. And the second is the percentage of landing page views to add to carts, which often tells me, oh, these people are connected with what they found on the website. So it is actually a pretty good targeted audience. And the third one is the percentage of people who add to cart and then purchase. And the reason why I follow this is because this tells me if the price and offer is agreeable to that target audience. That's it. If you guys have any questions about when to scale your Facebook ad campaigns, be sure to hit me up and at me on Twitter or in the comments. I'm very active in both those places. Okay, thanks guys. Bye.